Watch us live stream at twitch.tv/Inez27. Live stream times are Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. Central Time. Follow us on Twitter at SeemsGoodMagic. And please support my eBay store by going to SeemsGoodMagic.com, clicking on the icon, and purchasing some playsets and singles. Thanks, and enjoy the video. What's going on, everybody? Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here for another 8-4 Return to Ravnica block draft. Rare is Ready Willing, and it's a cool card, but it's not really necessarily a good first pick. I'm looking at War Leader's Helix. I think is pretty much got to be the best pick in here. There's also Zerta Druid, which is good. Maze Abomination, which is my favorite maze creature. Feral Animist is good. Maze Glider's fine. Give and Take is good. Yep, I think we just slammed the War Leader's Helix. We also have the benefit of not passing too much of a Boros signal with this pack, so that's kind of nice. Follow-up pick. Alright, we have Maw of the Obsidian, which is a very good spell. We also have Ascended Lawmage. Species Gorger is fine. Maze Abomination's good. So, Maze Abomination, Ascended Lawmage, Maw of the Obsidian. So, would I rather go Borzov, or would I rather go Azorius Boros? So, what's the plan? I could take Maw of the Obsidian or Ascended Lawmage. Both are good. I guess Maw is cooler. Maw's cooler if I pick up any steal effects. Like if I end up getting Trader's Instinct and like Active Treason or something, I'm probably going to prefer the Maw of the Obsidian. But Ascended Lawmage is very good too. I think I'm just going to go with the Maw. They're both good. And either one would have been acceptable there, in my opinion. Okay, so now we have Sin Collector, Punish the Enemy, Has to Snare Squad. I think it's either Sin Collector or Punish. Punish is straight up removal. Sin Collector is like a peek plus peek at worst, at best, ganking something important. You know, I'm down for Punish here. I'm not opposed to it. It's a pretty awesome removal spell. And Sin Collector is good, and it's good value that you potentially get out of it, but I think I actually like the Punish better. I think I'd rather just have the good removal spell. Alright. Now there's another Maze Abomination. There's also a Rakdos Guildgate. Second Rot Farm Skeleton we've seen. I like the Abomination a lot. I think this card's really good. The Maze Abomination, yeah. Rakdos Guildgate would help us turn that on. But we already passed 2 Abominations. I'm not sure if they're both going to wheel. Even if they do, it's a strong 6-drop. I may just want the fixing now, but so many multicolored creatures in this format, and Maze Abomination is just so good. I think I'm going to take them. It might have been a Guildgate. Well, we get another opportunity to pick up a Guildgate here. And yeah, I'll take it over the Maze Rusher. And Entering is pretty cool, but I think I'd rather have the Guildgate. Get a little fixing going on. Smeltward Gatekeeper would be cool too with the Maw, but we have to turn it on first. So let's get the Boros Guildgate. Alright. That is probably the latest a Zerta Druid should ever go. So I'm pretty surprised about that. I mean, we could take it. Possibly go into Naya a little bit more. I guess that's a possibility, but we can take the Clue Stone here too, get more fixing and more ramp. That is a pretty clear-cut signal that at least green or red is open. Hopefully red. But Crawl Warrior's in here too. Both of those are just really solid green picks. Let's just stay on target. Try and cut as many red, white, or black spells that we can. Okay. More green. Weapon Surge is good. Smelt Ward Gatekeepers will be good if we can get any sort of steal effect or any sort of more guild gates. Weapon Surge is usually a pretty awesome card. Currently only have 2 creatures. Pretty sure we're going to be picking some more up though. Gatekeepers are only good if you get enough guild gates to support them, whereas Weapon Surge is pretty much always good. So let's take the Weapon Surge. All right. They're just really trying to tell us that green is open, aren't they? So perhaps we take the Gorgon here. And then we dip out of, what, white? That seems awkward. Morgue Burst, maybe we could play it. Probably not. But we'll take it. Alright. Guess we'll take Hired Torturer. He's fine. He's pretty playable. None of these really matter. Guess we'll take the Lee of Decree. Chance we play it. Table to Rot Farm Skeleton. Just cut white. See if we can make that work. Take the Lee of Decree. So pack 2, we're gunning for both Orzhov and Boros. And then pack 3, I guess we're gunning for Rakdos. So that seems like an acceptable plan to me. This seems like it's playable. Sideboard. Alright, took a Clear a Path for those pesky defenders, and last pick a Sinister Possession, so both of which are acceptable. Let's see what we get here in pack 2. Unexpected results. Well, that's not the best rare. What else we got? We got Killing Glare. Pretty much a Killing Glare. Also Madcap Skills. Madcap would be good for the Rakdos pack. I think we just want the Killing Glare. Let's get an awesome removal spell. We are super short on creatures, but it is still early in the draft, so Night Watch would also be acceptable. Hopefully we wheel that. Most likely we wheel the Nav Squad and we'll be fine with that. So let's take the Killing Glare. The good removal spell. Alright, follow-up pick here. I think we're just slamming the Skyjack. Guess we could also take a Thunder Fist or something, but Skyjack's just so good. Debtor's Pulpit's also in here and it's fine. And Thunder Fist is good. Pit Fight's awesome, but we need more creatures. I really would like to take the Pit Fight. I just don't think that's a realistic plan. So let's take the Skyjack. Currently, it's not a realistic plan. Okay, we have Active Treason, which I do like with the Maw, but we also have Balustrade Spy. And like I said, short on creatures. So I'd like to take some good creatures here. Balustrade Spy is an awesome one. I really like it a lot. Sepulchral Primordial is very good too. It's legitimately good, especially when you have a good removal package, which currently we do. But Balustrade Spy helps the curve a little bit, helps our creature count. Awesome creature. Blocks Death Cult Rogue, does a lot of other amazing stuff. It's just a really good card. Randomly mills 9 cards. Let's just take the Spy. Oh wow, Merciless Eviction. That's an awesome, that's a really crazy pass too. Really happy to pick this up. This card's amazing. It just can completely flip the board state. Holy Mantle's good too. So is Smite, both of which would be fine for the deck potentially. But yeah, you just slam Merciless Eviction. That card's awesome. So much value. So we could take the Holy Mantle now. I'm kind of in the mood to take the Dutiful Thrall, even though Holy Mantle is really good. We're still short on creatures, and this one's actually good for our deck since it buys us time to get some value online. Back-to-back Holy Mantles. Not the best signaling I've ever done, but let's take the Dutiful Thrall. Okay, Another spy is also a Death Cult Rogue. I think because we're 3-color, the spy is the better pick. Nav squad here too, but yeah, let's just take a spy. I'm happy. I'm happy enough with that. Could use a little more fixing in here actually, but currently we're on a good path. I like the creatures that we have. I like the tricks that we have, the removal, the game plan. Okay, we take an active treason for the maw. We can also take a smite for dutiful thrall. Suddenly we've shifted into more of a smite deck, but that's not necessarily true. It really is dependent on pack 3 where we're going to see the Rakdos, because the Rakdos could make this deck over the top. So let's take the active treason and play it like we're going to get hooked up with a lot of creatures in pack 3. If we're not, we miss out on a smite, which is good and would be good for the deck, but we're good on removal already, so I'd like to take it a little more over the top with being able to steal their creatures and hopefully getting some good Rakdos picks out of pack 3. Alright, well this is a legit pick for us. I think we're just going to take the Scorchwalker. I don't like Hellraiser Goblin. Ripscale Predator is not a bad pick, but Scorchwalker's just good on blood rushing on flyers. It's good on its own for trading with stuff. So let's take the Scorchwalker. Alright, we got the Nav squad. I'm pretty happy about that. He's fine. I like him quite a bit. I like him more than most people do. Horror of the Dim. Guess we can play it if short on playables. Shielded Passage is a fine trick, but let's take the Beckon just in case we're that short on creatures, but ideally we're not. I mean, we're actually good on removal now, so pack 3 we can really focus on some good creatures, some good quality lower end creatures. 10th Street, huh? Still have yet to play 10th Street Market. Not opposed to it, I just haven't gotten around to it. Alright, so we want the Rakdos cards. We want some good, like, Hellhole Flailers and Splatter Thugs. Stuff like that. Okie dokie, what do we got? We got Cellar, who's fine. Jailbreaker, not so great in this deck currently. Just a good defender. Swift Justice. That's about it, huh? Not much. First pick Cellar is not the most exciting pick I've ever had. But it is pretty necessary at the moment, so we'll take it. There we go. Alright. So now I think we're just going to slam the Chainwalker. Cryptborn Horror looks a little too difficult to play. It usually is. And Deviant Glee seems unnecessary. Cobble Brute, possibly Wheel, or the Trans Guild, maybe, but I guess not likely. Alright, let's just slam a Chainwalker. I'm cool with that. Bloodfray Giant, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, I think we're just going to slam the Bloodfray. He's color intensive, but let me assure you that this man is worth it. It's also Lobber Crew, which isn't that great in our... It's actually just a good card in general, but it's not that great in this deck. So let's just take the Bloodfray. Security Blockade would be cool too, but I'd much rather have the... This guy just takes games over on his own. Bloodfray is a super big threat. Currently need at least 2 more creatures. Ideally 3, since I'd like to cut a couple that we have currently. I mean, I'm not like totally opposed to Hired Torture in here since he's actually a good blocker, but I'd like to cut the Horror of the Dim. Perilous Shadow's usually playable, but we're a 3-color deck low on fixing. I'm not liking him as much. Codex Shredder is kind of cool, but I don't know if I'm going to play it. Tenement Crasher seems unnecessary. Could just take the Swift Justice. Hope to see a couple more creatures. You know, Soul Tithe is actually... I've played Soul Tithe, and I don't dislike Soul Tithe. We don't look like we're beating people early anyway. I'm going to take the Soul Tithe. Might seem strange. I've played it before. It's fine. Not amazing, but randomly does things. Spawn of Rick's Mad Eye on the other hand, very good 5-drop. Happy to take him. He's a beater. Sewer Shambler looks like something this deck wants. More than the Rage Mutt, probably. It's a little better on the curve. Sewer Shambler's just awesome card. All right, let's cut Horror. Wow, that's a late Chainwalker. Not much in here for us anyway, so take that Chainwalker all day. I could take the Shred Freak, the Jailbreaker. Jailbreaker looks like it's difficult to play. Shred Freak is fine. Shred Freak's fine. Batterhorn takes care of stuff, but our late game is like pretty well covered. Jeez. I mean, let's just take the Jailbreaker. I guess we could take the Batterhorn, but it doesn't seem right. I don't think I'm playing it. That's kind of the thing. I don't think I'm playing Jailbreaker either, but Jailbreaker's just better. Alright, Cobble Brute I could see myself possibly playing. Maybe over the Hired Torturer, but I'm not even sure if we're a Leave Decree deck necessarily. Probably not. Launch Party Table? That's pretty awesome. Alright, I can slam that. So the good news is we have enough removal. The bad news, not the best fixing I've ever seen. We have a Boros Cluestone and a Guildgate. It's probably enough to get away with what we're trying to do, but it's definitely a concern. I don't think we're playing Drainpipe Vermin. Probably not playing Codex Shredder either. Doesn't matter, I guess. So we've got some options. Can make some cuts. Probably not playing Nav Squad Commandos. Looks like we can actually afford to give up a couple creatures in a pinch. Try and make this a little more aggressive. Like maybe we don't need the Dutiful Thrall, but kind of would like to have it. Probably have to cut some of our 4-drops, so I got to take a closer look at what we're dealing with here. Alright, let's do this. I want this, these guys, this thing. All the high power guys. That is absolutely going to be the way it's going down. All the high value spells we can get. Possibly not the Torture. This is 24. That's not bad. Pretty light in the white department. Unfortunately for us, do kind of need white early, but we're probably going to end up doing a more even split of our mana base anyway. So one more cut. Probably a 4-drop, maybe the Cobble Brute, but I guess we're at 15 creatures like this, is that right? Let's put all our removal down here. Maybe we cut the Soul Tithe. I guess that seems appropriate. We look like we can attack. Yeah, that might be the better option. Just loads of tricks. Yeah, I think with the removal and tricks we have, we probably don't need the Soul Tithe. Alright, so I'm not opposed to playing it like this. This looks pretty good. A little bit color intensive, perhaps, but we're fairly light in the white department. We already have a couple fixing for it, so maybe we only need, like, what do they say? They say they want to even it up. Alright, well, what do we got? Yeah, that might actually be the way we got to do it. I don't think so, actually. I think we want more white. We want more black sources. Alright, so if I do this, 7 sources of black, 5 sources of white, 8 sources of red. So maybe I can do it like this. And then this is 7 sources of red, 6 sources of white, 7 sources of black. I guess we only require like 1 black, so maybe we do 8 sources of red, 6 sources of black, 6 sources of white. Because like I said, I do need to see white fairly early. This isn't the worst mana base I've ever played with. Do need double red, that's important. We only need 1 white, but we want it early. Ugh, I think I'm going to run it like this. I'm not super proud of this mana base, but like I said, there's a lot of powerful cards in here. We could just we've got a fairly even split, so we can hope to see all of our mana. Yeah, this deck can get there. I believe it. I'm a believer. All right, I'll see you guys round 1. I think I'm a little more interested in playing the Nav squad over the Dutiful Thrall. Not exactly sure why. For some reason, the Dutiful Thrall is not really striking me as something I want to do in this deck, but just about to start round 1 here.